What's up, everybody? Welcome back. I'm Wyatt Bagnall.
Taylor Wallerstein.
And today we are breaking pattern a little bit. Instead of reviewing each game individually, we're going to review each team overall for the season, how they've done, where they currently stand, what they need to do to get to the playoffs, or if their season is sort of over. And then we're going to sort of guess who's going to be there at the end. And yeah, I think that's a good place to start for us.
I like it.
Yeah. Right, so do you want to start with the AFC or the NFC?
The NFC, it's been more interesting.
All right, okay, fair enough.
To be honest.
Interesting assessment. All right, so as things currently stand in the NFC, the ranking them 1 through 16 according to record, it goes Eagles, Vikings, Seahawks, Bucks, Cowboys, Giants, 49ers, Falcons, Commanders, Rams, Saints, Packers, then Cardinals, Bears, Lions, Panthers. I don't see it staying this way for the entire year, but the NFC's had more shocking teams, and I think that's not altogether shocking given that nobody thought that highly of a lot of them coming into the year. Somebody was going to be shocking.
Sure.
But I mean, let's just start right off at the top here. The Eagles have been very, very good. Haven't lost yet.
Yeah.
Feels like they're going to at some point. Like every team just seems to have an off day. Yeah. I don't know when it's going to be because it doesn't look like the Eagles' schedule's that tough.
Right.
But
yeah,
we'll see.
No, there's a lot of moments where it's first of all, first 8-0 start franchise history. Gotta respect that. That's pretty awesome. I'm sure Eagles fans are on top of the world. Some serious, real wins in there too. It's not just been completely a cakewalk. There have been some tests, and I'm not convinced they go 16 or 17-0.
No, they'll stumble at some point.
I think they'll stumble at some point as they've gotten close earlier. But hey, good on you, 8-0. Nobody else in the league is doing that or can talk about it. So
yeah,
I will say that roster definitely that offseason move, that offseason change that they had. Again, I knew they were going to be good again eventually. I did not think it would be this fast. And credit to Jalen Hurts. Mm-hmm. He's having a great year. So
yeah.
I
mean, the two quarterbacks that a lot of people had a lot of questions about coming into the year have really stepped up this year when given the weapons that most quarterbacks would want.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts is definitely one, and then we'll get to Tua, but he's played very well when he's been healthy.
Hard to deny.
Yeah.
As much as I would love to hate. Yeah.
Exactly. It's hard to deny, especially because it's like they haven't lost since he came back.
No.
So,
yeah, and I mean, he's doing well, touchdown pass category.
I mean, as of today, he's the highest graded quarterback in the NFL.
No, whatever.
Well, that's something, considering the people he's up there with.
It is what it is.
Okay.
I can't hate.
You want to. But here's the thing about the Eagles is weirdly enough, even though they're 8-0, this division is not closed.
Yeah, I agree.
I think Dallas is the bigger threat than the Giants, even though they're both 6-2.
Agreed.
But I mean, if Philly just drops one game, they still have another game with Dallas coming up. If they can
and they play the Giants again too, right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
So I mean, there's a couple of times in here where Philly they cannot coast on the idea that they've started 8-0 because one of these other two teams can still sneak up and get them. It feels like Philly will win the division, but I wouldn't be shocked at all. We've seen crazier stuff than that. But in terms of a team that I do think is going to win their division, the Vikings are holding strong at 7-1. Their one loss was in week 2 to the Eagles.
Yeah, no, I mean, iced out Kirky is something else. I don't know if he stopped going to church or burned all of his pairs of khakis.
He just started a new church right there.
Yeah, I mean, Church of Kirk. Everyone's kind of on board, and I don't know if this is credit to where credit's due. Mm-hmm. Kirk has made it work when Justin Jefferson, not saying Justin Jefferson's having a bad season by any stretch of the means, but genuinely, he's not having a Jamar Chase last year kind of thing. They're doing a good job of complete offense. It's not, granted, he's Justin
They got
Jefferson.
Weapons all over the place, that's why.
Exactly. And what I'm saying is, if they were relying on Justin Jefferson, I'd have more questions.
Mm-hmm.
But genuinely, Justin Jefferson is able to flourish in this offense. First of all, due to Kevin O'Connell.
You got it.
I almost said Kevin O'Connell-Lee. Kevin O'Connell, great offensive mind. He's really proven himself as a head coach so far. We have yet to see if people are going to figure him out, but genuinely, I like to see what he's doing right now, and I don't think that'll be the case. But also, again, Justin Jefferson is able to do what he does so well, and they don't need to throw him the ball as much as they did last year. Basically.
No, and they still are.
And they're still getting him the ball. Again, I don't mean to say like, oh, he's having a slump year or anything. I don't mean anything like that. But what I'm saying is, again, though it's not a reliance on Justin Jefferson, and he's not just being elite carrying Kirk to a great year. Mm-hmm. Kirk is genuinely looking good, with the exception of one primetime game. But that's what
Kirk.
Yeah, with Kirk. Yeah, the lights are too bright.
Exactly. So those two, I'm gonna say that those two will win their divisions. That feels pretty safe to me. I get that Dallas and New York can catch up, like I said.
Yeah.
But it just feels like Philly's got the right stuff to not let it slip away.
I think Philly.
The other two divisions, though, I think are like primed to be weird. See, I think the Eagles and the Vikings are probably your top two seeds.
I agree.
I think that feels right.
I agree. I really can't.
The only thing I can see shaking up is I think the Vikings could potentially flip by the Eagles if one of those NFC East teams manages to just do a number on Philly. But I still think that the Vikings will be one of the top two seeds regardless, because they're basically like 4 games clear of anyone else in their division with only half a year to go.
They are looking good.
They would have to totally collapse, and those other teams would have to completely figure it out. Mm-hmm. But I've sort of drawn a line here on like which teams I think it's feasible to make the playoffs. Okay. And other than the Eagles and the Vikings, I think the teams you're probably looking at are some combination of the Seahawks, Buccaneers, Cowboys, Giants, 49ers, and Falcons. And I think the weirdest one is the NFC South. They're only getting one team out. There's not going to be 2. And I think it's very possible whoever wins that division wins it with a losing record.
It's possible, yeah.
Tampa Bay still has like the better team, but they just don't inspire much. And Atlanta is like, they're not better, but they've just been feisty. I don't know what's better, a bad team that's feisty or a team with a good roster that's just habitually underperforming. So I don't know which one. The Falcons for some reason feel better to me.
As a Dodgers fan, I can tell you right now, I'd much rather have a bad team feisty.
Yeah, but in terms of like in actual appliance though, like that's my thing.
See, I do think what everybody wants to, when you have Tom Brady on your roster, everybody's going to go straight to him is the problem, or he's not playing up to par.
No, it's that line.
The dude's entire offensive line is gone. And there's been injuries all year. I mean, Godwin's missed some fucking games. Mike Evans missed 1 game due to suspension.
Yeah. He's been the only one that's not injured.
Yeah, exactly. Julio's barely even touched the field.
He's just old.
Which is Julio being old, and it happens. I'm not even knocking Julio that much on it. It's just a bummer to see more than I am mad. I think genuinely that O-line being hurt has made it such an easy game plan to stop the Bucs, because all you have to do is blitz.
Well, I mean,
through that line.
Well, here's the other thing. They cannot run the ball a lick. And this is the other... There's another team that we can mention real quick. I don't think they will make the playoffs, but that's the Rams. They have sort of a similar issue in that they also have a really bad O-line, and they can't run for a damn thing, so they're really one-dimensional.
Yeah.
The Buccaneers are the same problem. The difference is their division's worse. They still have, worse, they are alive until somebody decides to pull away with it.
And this might be an unpopular opinion, but I'd rather take Mike Evans and Chris Godwin than just Cooper Kupp.
Yeah. 2's easier than 1, even if that 1 is probably individually the best of the 3.
Yeah.
But
I would much rather have. I mean, Mike Evans can get Godwin open. Godwin can get Mike Evans open.
Unless they're playing the Saints, apparently.
But weird.
For some reason, it's just never going to be easy with that game.
I don't know. It is weird as hell. Andy Dalton. Like, literally. Was it Jameis playing at that time? Or was it Andy?
I think that might have been week 2. Or
so
it was week 2 or it was either... I think that was the game Jameis played in with the broken back.
Right.
Yeah, so I think it was I think that was Jameis's last game before they were like he can't do it.
Yeah, and that loss to the Panthers is brutal. I think granted.
The only good news is the Panthers aren't within reach to make it a problem.
True, but I do think that's like a morale killer. is almost like you drop a trap game like that. Granted, this is coming from a Bengals fan who watched Monday Night Football.
You guys are full of trap game. You guys are again. This is sort of what I told. This is what I was saying to you, and I have predicted. As I've sort of settled on this, I think the Bengals make the playoffs, but I think that they're in like a 4-way battle for the last spot because again, even though the records are close, I think Baltimore has impressed me enough where I'm like I feel safe enough with them.
They have impressed me. I will not say that.
I don't expect you to concede.
However. I do think they win the division strictly because of strength of schedule. The Bengals have one of the hardest schedules coming up in the NFL. The Ravens have one of the easiest. Yeah. So I think we obviously lose a couple games because we have to play the Chiefs still. We got to play the Buccaneers. I think we win that game.
I think you win the Bucs game. That Chiefs game, you better be eyeing.
Like Jamar Chase, please come back. Like that's genuinely how I feel. But so I think 5th seed. We can do 5th seed.
Okay, the only reason I didn't give you 5th seed is because I just think it's Miami's.
Okay, well then 6th seed.
So I think you guys are in a 4-way. I think Miami is a wild card, and then I think you guys are in a 4-way battle for the last 2.
I can concede to that.
That's where I am with you guys. The only
I
one
can be a reasonable fan now and say yeah, probably. As long as we make playoffs, I'm chilling.
Yeah, I currently think you will, but I'm just like. I also don't feel good about it because, like you said, you guys will win a game, then all of a sudden Cleveland will just...
Cleveland comes in and makes us look terrible.
It's like, what the hell was that?
No, genuinely, dude, so I was, like, the office that I work in does not allow, like, you wear business casual. Duh. Like, that's what an office is. I walked in with my business casual on and my jersey on over it on Monday and was like, what are you going to do? Tell me to take it off? Like, nah.
Never.
And literally, I stuck with it the whole day. Wore my jersey. I didn't have to do any cold calls, so it worked out. Like I was in an office the whole day, so they were fine with it. But genuinely, like the Tuesday was one of the hardest days I've had to go through in a while.
I believe it.
I walked in and had a lot of.
We'll get back to that though. We're gonna get back to the NFC here real quick.
Yeah. I'm attention holder.
No, you're good.
I gotta talk Bengals.
No, I respect it. And I'm gonna let you talk Bengals, but I'm just saying that I think that the NFC to me is a little more clear cut as far as the teams that will make it.
I agree.
I feel the NFC East is going to put out 3 teams. I think that the Giants, Cowboys will both be wild cards. The Eagles will be first. And then I think that there's definitely not 2 out of the South. There's definitely not 2 out of the North. So I think the Seahawks and 49ers both make it. One is the winner, one is the wild card. I think 49ers win the division by virtue of their rounding into shape and being healthy, and they smacked the Seahawks once already this year.
Bye week helps.
Yeah, they got their bye week as people started to come back, so it's like, okay, that's not awful.
Yeah.
So, I think that the only question for me is it Bucks or Falcons out of the South? Other than that, and again, injuries can obviously come in here and just mess it all up. But even then, it's sort of like, I don't know who the last one is. Somebody's gonna have to really like.
Yeah, no, it's
go crazy.
The only thing I say is, and I know I said this earlier in the season, was like, don't count the Giants anymore. I'm not going to do that anymore. I do think the Giants fall off in the second half of the season strictly because like this team's not winning the Super Bowl.
No, here I agree with you there, but I think the only reason I say they're definitely making the playoffs is they built such a damn buffer to like get out in front because like the next closest teams are all down at like 3 wins.
Yeah, it's a hell of a hot start. Like, and that's the one. Like, I will agree with you. I think it's possible that they still make it, but I think, honest to God, like, all right, Dable, you proved it. You're the guy. Like, I don't know if Danny Dimes is still the guy. You've been playing clean football.
Yeah.
I respect that.
Yeah.
Maybe they roll with you for a year if they can get you cheap. Maybe they don't. Maybe they sell someone that is on a massive contract. I can't think of anybody off the top of my head. But,
I have no idea.
But genuinely, this is one of those things where it's like, all right, midway point of the season, pretty much. I could see them falling off because Dable has proven himself. Now they want a pretty decent draft pick.
Okay, then let me read you these other teams and tell me which of these teams do you think rises up to overtake the Giants.
Okay.
So basically, the 8 that I currently have is like teams I think make it.
Okay.
Eagles, Vikings, Seahawks, Buccaneers, Cowboys, Giants, 49ers, Falcons. I think those are all alive. One of them will obviously miss. But and then where I drew the line and everything beneath it, you tell me which of these ones jumps up.
Okay.
Commanders, Rams, Saints, Packers, Cardinals, Bears, Lions, Panthers. I feel those top 8 are like a few standard deviations higher than those other ones.
I think I agree. I would not be surprised if. I think maybe the Falcons overtake them, and I know you said that the 8 who would feasibly make it.
Okay, so you're saying that it would be Falcons get in and Giants are the 8th spot.
I think Falcons have a little bit more of like, not excitement. That's not a good way of putting it, but it's just.
I get what you mean.
Yeah, when you look at
the vibe check in Atlanta is really high.
Not bad. Like genuinely, Mariota is not.
Mariota.
Very good. He's not being a world beater by any stretch of the means or anything or any.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, you know what I mean. I don't know. I said that twice now, but whatever. By any stretch of the definition, is that it?
Stretch of the imagination.
Stretch the imagination. Whatever. I was closer with that one. Same syllables. I think when you watch the Falcons play, there's a little bit more hope inspired, especially Cordell Patterson being back. He's an athlete. I gotta give it to him.
He's great.
Great athlete. I don't buy him as I buy him as a one and done playoff team. The Giants I see more of falling off enough that the Falcons can take that last spot.
This is my issue though.
Okay.
Because again, the Falcons really are not that great.
Agreed.
They just feel good. But the Giants legitimately tangibly got out to an actual lead and hot start.
Yeah.
So at what point is it this team feels good but this other one is actually still winning? So that's where I'm at with it, because I agree. I think realistically they're probably on a similar level, but I just don't know. I don't know that good feelings is enough for the Falcons to close that gap.
That's fair. I would say again, my thought process just goes this Giants team seems like one of those teams that starts off hot and everybody's impressed, and then second half of the season comes by, loss, win, loss. And then they end up with a top 12 draft pick or something like that.
I don't even think if they lost out, they'd end up in the top 12. There's a couple teams that are sitting in the freaking basement right now.
So yeah, top 16 maybe. Top 16 before 20.
Yeah.
Before 20. Obviously.
Before the playoff cutoff.
Yeah, I think I don't think it's 19. I think it's more 16 to 18.
Maybe.
But
I think that they would have to totally collapse, because right now they would have to lose 4 straight games just to be down at 500.
That is true.
So I just think that when you get off to a hot start, if they go in the week 9, so in the last 8 games, if they go 3-5, they finish the year 9-8, and I think that's enough for a wild card spot in the NFC.
That's the weird part about it, is that the NFC has been a bit of a surprise, but it's still subpar.
Do you think that the Falcons are more likely to go 5-4 than the Giants are to go 3-5? Because that's how they would end up with a tied record, and then you'd have to have tiebreakers. The Falcons would have to finish the rest of the year with a winning record.
Well, here's the thing: they play the Saints again, and they play the.
The problem is the Saints are prone to just any given week just show up and fucking light up somebody.
I wish they would have done that this week, but they didn't.
But they didn't.
No, genuinely, I agree with you there. However, 110%. And again, I'll have to see the schedules before I make it full. This is what.
This week Atlanta's playing Carolina.
Yeah, that's a win.
So there's a win. Did the Giants play this week? I think the Giants had a win.
Giants are off a bye. They are back this week.
This thing printed weird, so I'm gonna have to look in here and figure out where they are.
No, they are, because Danny Dimes was gonna be the guy I picked up to.
Yeah, this thing printed
they play
weird.
Texans. So they're winning.
So I guess they both win.
So they're both winning.
Who are the teams the Giants have lost to? They lost to the Cowboys
And the Eagles. Right?
No, they haven't played the Eagles yet. They lost.
No, they haven't?
They lost to somebody two weeks ago.
No, it was Eagles actually.
Whatever it was.
Seattle.
Yeah.
Seattle.
Okay, those are 2 teams that have legitimately played well.
Yeah.
I think Seattle's a little tricky because I just don't know what they are. Because when they played us, for example, they just got smoked. But then they played other teams that are these iffy teams, and they win. So it's okay. You're weird, but you're definitely good enough to do something.
And with Denver being so bad, they still have a high pick.
Yeah,
that team could pull an Eagles this offseason.
Maybe Denver's pick is currently number 10, so it depends on what they want to do.
Well, number 10 for a team that might make playoffs, pretty fucking sweet.
No, yeah, that's good.
Yeah,
but yeah, who knows? So here's my official predictions for how this plays out.
Okay.
Eagles win their division. I think they'll be the 1 seed. Minnesota will be 2. And then I'm going to say San Fran hops Seattle. They'll be 3, and they'll win the West. NFC South, Falcons or Bucks is 4. I'm going to say it's the Bucks just because I'm choosing to believe here, like, good feelings only go so far when you keep dropping games. So
True.
I'm going to say they do that and Atlanta misses. 5 is Cowboys. 6 is Giants. No, 5 is Cowboys, 6 is Seahawks, 7 is Giants. I think that's how the NFC plays out. Because I don't think... I mean, the Commanders rattled off 2 wins against, like... One of them's the Colts. Doesn't really count. Like, the Commanders have gotten some wins lately, but it's not like they've been impressive. So I don't think that they are hopping into this picture. I don't think the Rams are. They're just too... Like, they're not going to figure it out this year. Their issue is terminal this year. Yeah. Saints, wildly inconsistent. On any given week, they could probably beat any of these teams, but literally the next week they'll go and get blown out by them. Mm-hmm. Green Bay's just not explosive enough. Yeah. And then you get down to like Cardinals, Bears, Lions, Panthers. Yeah, we get what they are. Here's what we should say though, and you need to give a little bit of credit to Justin Fields here. The Bears' offense has actually been like clicking. Weirdly, but it is working, and it's their defense now. Not they traded everything away that like is letting them down. But the Bears' offense for like 3 weeks now. It's just like we're gonna all of a sudden find some way to put up like 25. I just don't understand how.
I don't buy it. I really don't. I see it as one of those flash in the pan kind of moments.
No, I get it, but we were saying earlier in the year that they like couldn't do a damn thing. Yeah. But he's done like for several weeks now. It's a lot been on his legs too, where he just wills that damn offense to move.
And that's kind of where I think it is that the entire league has just kind of been like, okay, he's not gonna run, like. You know, force him to pass. You force Justin Fields to pass, they don't put up 20.
He's got nobody to throw to.
Well, and granted, that's fine. Like that is a fair point. And again, I mean, Jalen Hurts, Tua, Joe Burrow, all great examples of get them a true number 1 guy.
And
Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Who else?
Mahomes came into the league with it, so we don't know. Now he's without it.
I mean, get him number 1 guy. I mean, he's still Mahomes without it. Like,
but most of these guys, a true number 1 receiver is a force multiplier on an offense.
Absolutely.
And the Bears are far from it. But I just want to say, like, in terms of things we're looking for from these like younger guys. In a really bad situation here in terms of talent around him.
They're not going to.
He has like. No, I think
before this stretch, I would have said, "Watch out, CJ Stroud going to take your draft."
As of right now, though, if they're in they'll have good draft position. You find the best wide receiver in that fucking draft.
You go for it.
Yes, because he has played well enough and made a really talentless offense score enough that you're like, okay, we need to at least give him a real chance. Because I mean, all the other ones really haven't done much. He's honestly like in terms of this year, he's flashed the most of all the second-year guys. In arguably the worst spot.
I will give you that. I'd say T-Law is a close second.
Yes.
He has arguably made Christian Kirk look like a wide receiver 1.
Yes, but I think the bigger difference here is also I just think the Bears' offense is like abysmally bad. I think Jacksonville brought in a bunch of like B minuses. Yeah, like they got a bunch of B minuses. A number 1 could be.
Been insane, though. I gotta give it to him. He looks like a.
Yeah, he's good, but again, if I'm Jacksonville, I'm still looking at that for like you said, a true 1. That'd be nice.
Well, I still can't believe they didn't go for DJ Moore. Something I said a couple weeks ago is just go for it.
Well, a lot of teams did. Panthers retained him. They offered first-round picks for him.
That is what I heard. So again, I'm not going to blame completely on the Jaguars on this one, but sweeten the deal, man. If you're going to pay Christian Kirk that kind of money, make it a deal they can't fucking say no to. Give a first and a second. Fuck it, you're Jacksonville. Who gives a shit? But genuinely, I think it's interesting that Green Bay
offered a 1.
They offered a 1. They offered a 2 for Claypool, which not the answer I would have gone for. But
no, but I think at that point I think they probably put out a bunch of stuff just for like we need something.
I heard they wanted Waller. I heard that was a little earlier in the season.
No, they were feeling around the trade deadline for him too.
Oh really? Okay, so they kept.
No, they kept pursuing that. The Packers tried a bunch of stuff, but teams said no, and this came back to what I said with the Panthers. I don't think the Panthers actually want to sell a ton of stuff. I think the Panthers realize, like I said, they are drafting a quarterback. Mm-hmm. And if you do that, you have DJ Moore. You don't have to be in the situation that the Bears and the Jags are in where you're just like, we don't have receivers.
Yeah.
So I think, by the way, I think this is a wise move by Carolina.
Oh,
Just because your team is bad does not mean everything needs to go.
I agree. You don't need to completely restart. I mean, that's why I'm really glad
it's like the same thing. They did the same thing with Brian Burns.
That's what I was about to say. It was a good call, sticking with Brian Burns. Who was calling for him? Somebody was offering a first and a second.
No, there was a playoff team that offered 2 firsts, or like a team that was like a fringe playoff team.
The Rams were offering stuff. Too.
Yeah, there was one team tried to offer 2 firsts for him, which, by the way, I would have taken that.
I would have taken that all day.
Like, there are some deals where you're like, listen, that's just worth it. So
Right.
it's like it's not like he's fucking Aaron Donald, Nick Bosa, something like that.
Yeah.
It's like he's good, but he's not one of these dudes that's like franchise altering good every time he plays. I mean, 2 first-round picks, I probably would have taken it. But I understand it from the Panthers' perspective of you need, like in today's league, you need weapons, you need pass rushers. So they didn't trade those things, which that's fine.
Great move moving McCaffrey. We could talk. He's been great for San Fran so far. Gotta respect that. Again,
I posted a video
I watched
about
that video. Don't you worry. I watched that video. And genuinely, I loved it.
I still feel the same way in terms, even after that game.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is I think even though he's been playing well, there's still that kind of.
Like, my thing is this with him. Well, here's what I think this helps. Elijah Mitchell's coming back now that the bye week's gone. He'll be back. But everyone's like, oh, he looked great. He did this. He did that. I don't give a damn what he did in 1 week. I need him to stay available. It's very rare that a player's injury history goes away when they arrive in San Francisco. So it's like,
Fair enough.
like that's again, it's my most apprehensive point where I'm like, listen, if we were healthy everywhere else and then he came in, I can live with like an injury-prone guy.
Sure.
But we have a lot of them. I don't need another. But like, that's what the thing with the 49ers. It's the entire damn deal with them where it's just like, if they are just healthy, it's really not a problem.
They're a great team.
Like, I think if they are healthy, it's us and the Cowboys that can realistically off the Eagles. Because you need to be able to do a certain, like, amount of things to, like, take out Philly. I don't think Minnesota can. I think Minnesota, like, if they play again, they'll play closer than the first game. But San Fran and Dallas possess something that most of these other teams don't. And it is a hellacious defense and pass rush.
It's true.
Like, on any given week, that can just stop somebody and end their year. Ask the Packers. Like, ask the Cowboys last year. Like, it's the teams, like, at the end of the year that when everybody zigs, they zag, that can just trap somebody. And it's like, even though technically they won this game, the refs decided to really hand Kansas City one with the Titans. I have never seen a tight end throw a DB's helmet off and it's pass interference on the DB. I have never seen that before, and it's bullshit. And it was on like the conversion to get them to overtime. So the Titans won that game.
It's shit like that where I'm like, guys, Mahomes are not that good. Because it's like there's so many moments like where it's like,
well, the Titans
should just fucking lose.
Dude, the Titans seem to do that to the Chiefs. For some reason, the team that seems to give Kansas City problems is the fucking Tennessee Titans.
Fucking forget the Bengals.
I know, but I'm talking about like this year in particular, and like over the course of 3 years, the Titans have beat them for 3 years now.
That's facts. I'll give you that.
So it's like, because again, I say I don't care what that record says on like the sheet. The Titans won that game because the Chiefs were gifted penalties on 2-point conversion attempts where it's like, those were all bullshit.
No, there's a lot of moments like that, especially like, I think the entire football world was just like,
really?
Seriously, dude?
So the fix was in on that one.
It's like, oh, so the refs are betting. Like,
yeah,
that's
exactly.
For sure,
but yeah, seriously, it's like, I've never seen a tight end grab a DB by the face, be pushing him, throw his helmet off, but because the dude, like, tried to grab at him a little when he's got his hand in his face, pass interference on him. Fuck you. Not even close. So yeah,
I view the integrity of the game.
I view it as the Titans won that game. Kansas City got beat.
Yeah.
So it's like, but like I said, the Titans are the AFC's version of what San Fran kind of does, which is like everyone in the AFC is like real soft and finesse generally with football, and the Titans are like, we're just gonna
smash mouth football,
bulldoze you. Yeah. And that's sort of like what San Fran does, and Dallas to some extent. But it's like those are the teams that at the end of the year you sort of have to be wary of because they might just come in and throw you off enough to beat you. And I think that's possible with Philly. Like, I think I don't know that I'd bet on. Honestly, I wouldn't feel that scared if the 49ers were healthy going into Philly. I wouldn't feel that worried about them.
When do you guys play? When do you play?
We don't play the Eagles.
Oh, okay.
I don't think so. But I'm just talking about the playoffs.
Okay. I thought you guys played for a second.
No, I don't really want to win the NFC this year, just because I'm like, I don't need to be hurt like this again. Because I think we could win the NFC. I just don't feel great about unless somebody really shocks in the AFC.
I just want to win a playoff game.
Then I'll be I think we will.
I think win 1 playoff game, 2,
3.
after that. Nah, after you start winning 3, you start having expectations.
Yeah, I know. I'd
much rather just have the narrative be the Bengals are a hard fighting team that even at 5-4 at the bye, they made the playoffs again. 2 years in a row.
It's as soon as you get to the Final Four where you're like, it's kind of real. It could happen.
And that's where you get that mentality. And then you go into championship weekend and you don't show up.
And it hurts.
And fuck.
Yeah.
But no, genuinely, I agree with you on your rankings. I wish I could be devil's advocate and say something else. But as an educated football fan, yeah, I think it's Eagles, Vikings, San Fran, Bucks strictly because they have to. Like come on, like let's go Bucks.
That's the only one that I think could change.
Yeah, that one could be Falcons. Who fucking knows?
Yeah, I think the other ones are all at least in.
Yeah.
Maybe the order's different. I think the only one that like could change in terms of who's there is Falcons or Bucks, just based on who's just slightly worse.
Yeah. An interesting NFC lineup, the one that everyone predicted, right?
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, I think that realistically here, like, it feels like the Eagles' season, but I also, man, I don't know. I just have a feeling that I think Philly can be had, but we'll see. But with that said, we're going to hop over to the AFC real quick. And this has been an interesting year also in terms of... Well, not much went the way we thought it was going to, honestly, with the AFC.
Yeah.
Other than we knew Buffalo was going to be good. We knew basically that's it. We both underestimated Kansas City.
Yeah, I mean they've been able to make it work.
I think we knew that it was possible, but I think we also really yeah. At some point, at some point you're gonna have to concede on some level that he's really fucking good. But okay, so as it currently stands in the AFC, if you rank them, it goes Bills, Chiefs, Ravens, Titans, Jets, Dolphins, Chargers, Pats, Bengals, Colts, Browns, Broncos, Jags, Raiders, Steelers, Texans. Just like the NFC, I drew a line. How many's in here? I have 9 that I think are viable in the AFC instead of 8.
Little bit more competitive.
Yeah. I draw the line right underneath the Bengals. So basically the ones I have viable or like realistic, Bills, Chiefs, Ravens, Titans, Jets, Dolphins, Chargers, Pats, Bengals.
Yeah.
And I mean, think going through this, it's like the AFC East is competitive, obviously. I still think the Bills pull away. They just had some bad luck with injuries also. They've mostly won through it, but every once in a while they've caught them.
Yeah, they get caught in a 2017 game.
Yeah. Chiefs, they feel pretty safe to win the West.
Yeah. I think unless the Chargers go on a ridiculous run, but I don't know.
The weird thing about that is the Chargers are only like 1 win behind them.
How the fuck is Herbert not dead?
I have no idea, but he's not.
But he's good.
I forgot he got injured. He's not himself totally. Like you can see it every once in a while that it's like, oh yeah, he definitely did get fucking cracked. Yeah, but
it's just a horrible pick.
Yeah, you're just like, oh yeah.
It's like, dude, you are on so many painkillers right now.
All of them. Every single one.
Yeah, like that. And with this Chiefs game coming up on Sunday night, now that I got flexed, next weekend.
Yeah. Your team lost your primetime spot. I mean, listen, you were playing the Steelers. I think that everyone...
It's more Steelers than it is us, but my biggest...
Here's your trap game.
There's fantastic, another one. Genuinely, what makes me mad is that the Broncos didn't get flexed one fucking time.
It's too early in the year.
I don't give a shit. We all knew the fucking Broncos Colts game was gonna be fucking awful.
Yeah.
Everybody and their blind fucking.
Well, the
mother watch
problem,
football.
the Thursday night usually never gets flexed because it's such a big difference. It's a Sunday game.
Fair, I'll give you that.
Because it's just a whole new schedule.
But then, whenever Broncos were in Sunday night, they should not have been Sunday night.
Yeah, but the problem is, it's too early in the year and nobody had any idea what was going on.
I think flexes should happen earlier. I think it makes it more fun.
Maybe, but overall,
Fuck the Broncos again.
But overall, here, I think in terms of the AFC, we basically have. I'll say who I think wins these divisions real quick. Bills will win the East. Chiefs will win the West. I got Baltimore taking the North. And Tennessee's fucking running away with the South.
Yeah.
So, and then I think that for the last 3 playoff spots, though, there's 5 teams that are possible, and I think Miami's the only one where I'm like, they will be there. And then I think it's between the Jets, Chargers, Pats, and Bengals for the last 2. And I think the one that I would say misses for sure is the Pats. I think they'll be sort of in that Giants-y position where they'll miss barely. But Jets, Chargers, Bengals, I don't know.
I'm going to put it this way.
I think Chargers get it.
Chargers get it. Dolphins get it. Bengals get it.
Do you think Jets and Pats miss?
I think Jets and Pats miss, and it's strictly, and this is not a knock on Mac Jones or on Zach Wilson. I do think that they're in some weird situations. Mac Jones, no offensive coordinator, as well as no weapons. So then, like, when it comes down to your offense needs to win the game, who's going to do it? Because, like, even if Mac's throwing dimes, it's to covered-ass motherfuckers.
Zach Wilson, if they miss the playoffs, is in more trouble.
Yeah, that's the thing. Zach Wilson is winning. Credit to being able to win with the Jets. I mean, if you got to do it ugly, you do it ugly. But when it comes down to brass tacks and winning and getting to a playoff position, I'm going to go with the 3 best quarterbacks who are still left. That's obviously Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, and I don't hate to say it because I'm not rooting for the guy, or rooting against the guy.
Yeah.
But I didn't believe in Tua, and I think he's obviously played lights out ball to the point where you can sit here and be like, okay, 3 of these quarterbacks are better than the other 2.
Yep.
So I will say that's where I think I got it. I'm just gonna jump ahead really quick, and we can.
No, go for it. Jump. Take the leap.
Take the leap of faith.
Yeah.
Bills first seed.
Yep.
I'm gonna go Kansas City second seed.
Yep. I think the first 2 seeds in both conferences,
pretty tough.
In terms of like listen, they might drop games and maybe it switches, but in terms of who we all will think is the best, I think that's pretty set.
The top 4 in the NFL are pretty much decided, and again, who knows? It's halfway through, but still. I go with I actually go Titans above Ravens because I know they have an easy schedule, but the Titans have to deal with an AFC South. You still have to play the Bengals once. You have to play Deshaun Watson and the Browns. Granted, I do not.
I think that's a trap for you guys. I don't know if that is for Baltimore.
We already felt it.
Are you pissed off next time? No more overlooking you.
That was my big thing. Was I woke up that morning and I had a bad feeling. I woke up with a premonition and I was like.
Brownie the elf went.
I was like, we're gonna look at Jacoby and be like, we don't need to do any film. and
Brownie the elf went out and hunted some tiger. Let's go.
I hated that.
That elf is so ugly.
I was staying in a hotel for work, and I literally like halfway through the game just turned it off and went downstairs, sat in the hot tub for an hour, and just contemplated life.
Staring into the void.
Yeah, and then somebody else joined in, and I was like, this is weird. I'm out. But no, genuinely, I think the Titans take it because the Ravens, like when it comes to the Titans having to play some division rivalry games, they're winning. Yeah, they're winning. When it comes to the Ravens, the Steelers always play the Ravens tough. I don't know. I don't think they win, but it's possible that the Ravens have a collapse again. And again, I think the Ravens having to play the Bengals. I believe firmly we're splitting that. We're splitting the series. We got to prove that first. Totally okay with admitting to that because we beat the shit out of ourselves the last time we played. I think there were a lot of opportunities we could have won that game.
I just love the way that you guys have played this year. I called it from the fucking jump.
It's been a roller coaster for sure. Like, I've never lost faith. That's what's important.
No, I'll give you credit. You stuck through it.
I've never lost faith. There's been moments where it's just like, God fucking damn it. Like, there are moments where I watch Zach Taylor. I'm like, dude, do you know what you're doing?
No.
Like, I swear to God. And then there's the Browns game where I was like,
he doesn't.
I'm not even gonna be mad. Like I'm just disappointed. Like this is a game that like, and especially there's the quote from Joe Burrow, like these next 3 games will determine how our season goes. I'm like, you keep doing this. Like you are correct. You are absolutely correct in that quote because you win a game handily, beating the fucking Falcons. You play the Browns, who are worse in my opinion than the fucking Falcons. You get smoked. You don't know. It's not a competitive game and you lose it because of bullshit. You get fucking smoked. And then literally you go to the Panthers 35-0 at halftime. Can you make up your fucking mind?
By the way, we also need to note something here. Do not get sucked in by beating up the Panthers, please.
I'm gonna get sucked in.
Okay.
First of all, I'm not gonna lie to you. First of all, I don't give a shit.
I'm trying to help you here.
Oh, I understand, and I appreciate your effort, but seriously, I don't give a shit that it was the dog shit Panthers.
Who's up next for you guys?
We play Steelers.
Out.
We play Steelers. We're on a bye right now.
If the Steelers beat you,
it's not gonna happen. It already happened once. We're pissed now.
You keep saying that about all these teams.
Shut up.
They already beat us. Oh, you started off against your entire division 0-1 against all of them.
Yeah, it's not great.
You're 0-3 in the AFC North.
It's not great, but
I didn't even realize that.
The fact that we're 0-3 against the AFC North, but still 5-4 feels good, baby.
Until you go 0-6.
No, we're all right.
No, you'll steal one off like the Browns. Maybe.
I think we beat the Steelers. I think we beat the Browns, and then it's a little bit more of a toss-up, obviously.
You know what? I'll give you this. You'll beat the Steelers. You'll beat the Browns. Ravens have you this year. I
don't believe that fully. However, I appreciate you giving me some support. Genuinely, that's my biggest thing about this is that this is one of those typical Bengals seasons where it's a fucking roller coaster. And somebody said this to me, and it pissed me off because of how accurate it was. They were just like, oh, please don't have a Joe Burrow meltdown game. And I was like, fuck.
You're due for one.
I was like, he fucking has those meltdown games. But genuinely, here's what I'm going to say about the Panthers game, and then we'll move on. I am going to be happy about smoking the Panthers because it was a complete football game without relying on Jamar Chase. Was it against a bad team? Absolutely.
You betcha.
I am not fucking blind and going to say, like, oh, they're a feisty squad. No, not at all. They're
not
garbage.
Even.
They're fucking terrible. We did what good teams do that to bad teams. So that's a good thing to see. And especially with the Falcons, we were smoking the Falcons, which are a feisty team. We were smoking them. Game was over before it even started. So I will take 2 blowouts and 1 blowout loss in the middle. Call that an Oreo. Like,
you want to know what's hilarious though? That one in the middle is the one you needed the most.
I'm aware.
Out of those ones,
I'm fully aware. But genuinely, yeah, I'm gonna get stoked that we smoked the Panthers because it was a complete football game. We have no corners right now, and we shut down the offense.
You want to know what you need to do this weekend? You need to root for my team because we're playing the Chargers, and if we can put an L on them, that helps you quite a bit.
I'm okay with that.
Good.
I got Jimmy G as my quarterback in fantasy in one league this year because, first of all, when you give him 2 running backs, Jimmy G eats. Second of all,
when you give him 2 running backs, a tight end, and 2 receivers, also he does great.
He does fantastic.
Give him all that plus a defense and the best left tackle in football, and he's having a good time.
All of a sudden, he's a decent quarterback.
Crazy.
So I need him to have a good fantasy week because I started 0-4 in that league. I am now 4-5. I don't know how I did it.
I just need a good game from him for like just an actual good game. Don't throw picks.
But yeah, please don't.
I think this game's in LA.
No way.
If it's in LA, it's basically a home game. No, it's in San Fran.
It's still a home game.
If it would have been in LA though, it's like, listen, that thing turns red for the Rams games. Well, like that'll be SoFi South again for a Chargers game.
SoFi South.
That's what we call it.
That's too funny. It's so accurate. That's the funniest part about
like,
it.
Yeah, Levi's South, yeah.
What was the game that I saw that I literally was like, oh my god, I thought it was a home game for 3 quarters. It was literally like, it was a week or 2 ago. I'm trying to think.
No idea.
I know it wasn't a Chargers game.
Are you sure?
I know. Usually it is a Chargers game. That's why I was shocked.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. It was because I know it was. Oh, it was the Rams game.
It was a Bengals game.
No, shut up. No, it was.
Yeah, it was when they played us.
No, shut the fuck up. Because you know, since these fans are passionate.
No, I'm talking about the Rams game.
Yeah, it was Rams 49ers.
Yeah.
And I was watching the game for 3 quarters through, and all of a sudden, I was like, holy fuck, they're in SoFi. And I was like,
this has been a thing.
Yeah, no, I know, but it was so apparent that day. Like, I didn't see any blue in the
Dude,
stands.
for the NFC Championship, they like restricted sales out of the LA area. Like they didn't allow like sales of tickets to the NFC Championship to like any Northern California areas.
No,
because they have to, when they played us at home, their offense has to play on a silent count.
That's so soft.
It's hilarious.
It's so soft. Like,
and it's so funny because in the
that,
NFC Championship they still
the
were
Padres,
like
the
red.
Padres did that to the
red than
Dodgers in this offseason. They were like LA fans, you can't buy tickets, and it was just like
that's how you know you're worried.
It's like, guys, like, what the fuck? That is such a baby shit 12-ply move. Like,
Yeah.
a good team doesn't give a shit where they're playing.
Dude, that's Charmin, dude. That's ultra soft.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
No, 110%. I will never respect that. If the Dodgers did that, I'd be like, soft.
Yeah.
If the Bengals did that, we don't have to. But if the Bengals did that, soft. Like, no excuses.
No.
Like, that is Falcons pumping music.
But it's
pumping
cool, though.
crowd sounds into the fucking speakers.
I'll say this.
level.
It's cool, though, if it's happening against your team where, like, we need to try to hold off the red wave from coming through.
See, that's the thing, is that it's fucking sick. Like, if the Rams were at home and the LA fan base did not believe in them in the playoffs like that, and they were doing that in the playoffs, and the Rams win that game still, holy shit, that's badass. It's like literally everybody was against us. Our home crowd is fucking against us. We got it done. Like, you gotta respect that. Like, that's a badass move. But fucking
to cower.
Exactly. To be a fucking coward like that is inexcusable, and I will never respect
The
it.
Rams bend the knee to the Niner Empire every time.
So fucking dumb. Like, that is one of those.
They
moments
always
where I'm
do
like,
their little. There was like this. They showed this neon sign. It was like whose house, Rams house, and all the stands around it are just red.
It's such a bad.
It's like, that's funny.
But that's funny. Yeah, it's like, read the room, dude. Like,
well, they say it everywhere. That's just their
know.
thing.
I know, but you can't say whose house, Rams house, when literally, like, you let the entire neighborhood into your house. Like,
Exactly. I mean, I'd love to see a Chargers Rams game, but the stadium would probably just be half full, and it would be mostly just Raiders fans.
Yeah, Chargers, hoping that the Chargers are losing, so they have a chance.
Yeah, exactly. It's Raiders fans there to root for the Rams, just to spite the Chargers.
Man.
But back to how this is going to go.
Yeah.
I think I agree with you overall. I think that the top four, whatever order we have them in, are the same.
No, I have Titans above. I know you got Ravens above Titans.
Yeah, but I'm saying like the four teams.
Oh, the top, yeah. The ones who are winning the division, I'm saying.
Yeah, I think the four teams we have the same. And then, yeah, I'm locking in Dolphins and I think Chargers, but I am a little weary of them because they just keep doing weird shit, and they're the Chargers. But I think that they can. I think that they can just, if nothing else, they can find a way to be above the Jets and the Pats. Man, I think if
do not tell me the Jets make it in or the Bengals.
No, I'm saying I'm gonna pick the Bengals.
Okay.
But I think if any of the teams are gonna play spoiler to one of those, it will be the Jets.
Robert Saleh has created a really solid defense. I think Sauce Gardner is him. Hard to deny. Genuinely, he's looked really good.
Mm-hmm.
I
think he's the second best young corner, maybe the third best.
Who do you have above him?
I got Surtain above him for sure, and then J.C. Horn's a little just underrated because he's in Carolina, but he's fucking locked down. He's just not flashy, so nobody talks about him. But he just plays really well. Yeah. But Sauce might be above him, but I got Surtain first, and then some combination of Sauce and Horn.
I can agree with that, actually.
Yeah, so those are the ones I'm going with.
Surtain
and then
is the one reason, like, leaving the Broncos, I was like, bro.
Hurts a little.
I was like, I just got Surtain, though.
Exactly.
It's like, that was a tough one to say.
Yeah, so he's the one where I'm like, I think he's the best of them. And then I think if you give Stingley like a year or two, I think it also doesn't help that the Texans just have nothing else. So he's not going to like all of a sudden just shine on a completely bad team.
Stingley isn't looking fantastic and like completely saving the defense, but granted, I can't name a single other person on that defense.
Granted, he's a rookie corner on an awful team.
Yeah.
It's not going to just go great.
Give him a year.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I think you give Stingley a year or two, and maybe he's probably up in that conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Sauce is legit.
Yep.
But yeah, I'd take Surtain over him.
I agree. We'll see if that holds up. Because honestly, Gardner's having a monster.
They're both graded in the top 3 of corners.
Yeah, I don't think that's far off yet. And again, no disrespect, Surtain is actually dope as hell. We'll see. Sauce is
also the flashiest in the biggest market.
Exactly. That's it's hard to ignore him because he gets picks.
Yeah.
Like, granted, that pick that Josh threw to him. Yo, what?
Josh Allen just had an off game.
Yeah,
and it's just like all these great players are prone to do it sometimes. They're not great every week. They're all human. Yeah, it got the Bills this week.
It's like that. Tweet I saw where I was like, "Oh, it's like please don't let this be the Joe Burrow Dante game." And I was like, "Fuck."
Even somebody who's like a devout Joe Burrow fan is like, "Listen, once or twice in the year, it's just gonna happen."
Joe Burrow will look like Andy Dalton.
Mahomes does it too. Rodgers has done it. Brady has done it. It just happens.
Yep.
This was just Josh Allen's game where it just wasn't going his way.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. But I do have the Bengals taking. I think it's the last spot. I think it's 7 instead of 6. I'll give the Chargers 6. 6. It doesn't fucking matter. They're both.
It does to me.
Wouldn't you rather, if you want your old feisty Bengals thing, wouldn't you rather they claw and fight for the last spot and then manage to steal one and then get bounced?
No, I'd very much like to be either 5th or 6th seed.
You're like, listen, I just want to be safe going into week 17.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I like. I don't want to have to go into. I don't want Buffalo coming in and be like, "Dear God, please, like we have to beat Buffalo."
Imagine that. There's like, you know what your luck would be? Buffalo wins this game, they clinch the 1st seed. But Cincinnati loses, they're out of the playoffs. Yeah, let's see how it goes, boys.
That would be literally. I'd come to Jesus. I'd go to church.
You just found religion.
I would go to church that day, and I'd literally be like,
if you help us win, I will believe in you.
I will devote my entire life to your service. Like, if you give the Bengals a win and we get bounced next week, I don't give a shit.
I don't care. Just get us in.
Get us in. Like, so if we could have back-to-back playoff seasons,
great.
People will hop off our ass.
It'll be like the good old Dalton days, the golden era of Cincinnati football. Either that or when they were losing Super Bowls to the 49ers.
I was hoping we were going to get Andy Dalton, who spoiled the Ravens season, and instead I got the Andy Dalton who pisses himself during prime time yesterday, and that was brutal.
I mean, Baltimore just fucking... They
looked beatable early.
Well, there's been a stat about the Ravens that came up in that game that I thought was crazy. They have led by 10 points in every game this year. It's like, what the fuck? And recently, though, about your thing about them closing... They haven't really struggled to close stuff out lately.
No, but they've been playing shit teams.
Okay, well, you played the Panthers and Falcons, so we're like...
And we won for...
No, I know, but I'm just saying, like, you're beating your chest over this stuff. Same deal with them. If you guys can get right against bad teams, so can they. No?
No.
Okay.
Because we lost to bad teams.
Oh, yeah, it's true. They have not done that.
Yeah, so we've lost to bad teams. So when we smoke a bad team, I'm like, we're back.
That's improvement. No, I think on some level they have. I'm not gonna say they've completely gotten right, but there also is some level of like.
Roquan Smith trade made me literally punch a hole in my wall.
When that happened, I texted that to you. I'm like, "How do you feel?"
I was so mad.
Didn't we make a joke about that?
I knew it was coming because the second I saw Roquan Smith being talked, I'm like, "Guess who's gonna fucking call him?"
You're like, "No."
I was like, dude, fuck you. And all the Bengals fans are in denial, and they're like, "Oh yeah, keep bringing on your defense and leave Lamar out to dry." I'm like, shut the fuck up.
Listen,
that
dude.
defense is going to murder our O-line.
Listen, dude. Lamar doesn't need your help. He's able to take good care of himself here.
Whoever you bring in, Lamar's not gonna do well with. Like, I don't mean in a way of he's gonna suck, but literally here's a stat that came up during that game. Since Lamar took over as quarterback, wide receivers have been 30. The wide receiver core in Baltimore has been the 32nd ranked fucking unit for fucking 5 years.
Yep.
So like that's the thing is that like, go ahead and give him a defense. They run the ball.
Yeah.
So it's literally like a better defense. They get up because nobody wants to tackle Lamar, so they get up 10 points.
I don't even think it wants to. I think he can't.
So literally fucking they go up 10 points. Duh. It's that simple. Like because all they do, they run the ball. It doesn't matter who's back there running the ball. Lamar, Gus Edwards, freaking Kenyon Drake all of a sudden.
It's a math problem, dude. They outnumber you.
Exactly. So it's like quit shut the fuck up. They brought in Deshaun Jackson. Doesn't matter. Like they
Well, I told you the Deshaun Jackson thing. I don't think it's so much a like play thing. I think it's more of like somebody's gonna have to run deep with them.
And
you gotta have somebody to bail out, and then you do that
again. But what does that benefit? The fucking
run game. Well, you want to know the other thing that helps in terms of like their receiving core. Mark Andrews is really good. He's a tight end, so he plays in the run game also. And then Isaiah Likely is the guy they just drafted, another tight end. So they can now run really like dynamic 2 tight end sets, which is also like nasty if you're trying to figure out if they're running or play action passing it.
They have built a team that does not need Lamar's arm. And when they do need Lamar's arm, 5 yards to Mark Andrews, he's getting another 5.
It's there.
He's gonna get Isaiah Likely on some weird fucking crazy route where. I'm gonna be honest. Isaiah Likely's an athletic guy. I saw shit during fucking training camp and shit where they loved him and he was doing some amazingly athletic things. I think in the preseason too, he's having a great year. So there was a part of me that was like, watch out for this guy. Like especially because now if you have a security blanket in Mark Andrews, he's not the most athletic guy. He is. Athletic.
Very good though.
He's very good and he's a good route runner. So don't get me wrong. I'm not knocking Mark Andrews at all. But now you have a guy that can be open because you have to cover an athletic tight end who is basically just a big ass wide receiver in like.
Yeah.
And again, oh my god, like the Bengals fans who are like, oh, I love that they keep putting shit on defense.
Why do you love that?
What?
Well, dude, you want to know something else? Their secondary is really rounded out well. And specifically, their safeties have really gotten better as the year went on, to the point where they now have like 2 safeties in like the top 5 in terms of how they're playing, including Kyle Hamilton, that rookie. It's like, go figure.
I'd much fucking rather play a Ravens team depending on Lamar's arm than I would
than run game and defense.
Run game and defense, like guys, holy shit! Especially because, bro, Joe Mixon, like, I love the guy. Great last game this past weekend. Won me 2 fantasy games.
Yeah.
Easy. I turned my fantasy app off at like
because you knew you won.
I was like, done. Sent in some shit talking. Called it a day. And then literally on Monday Night Football, they both had one person playing. It was Devin Duvernay, 1 catch, 5 yards.
Naturally.
They needed 60. He needed 60 fucking points to catch up to me. I was like, oh, good. Second one was fucking. Who was it? Oh, Chris Olave.
Yeah.
So I was like, and I was up by fucking 80.
You felt good.
I was like, yeah, I don't even have to worry. Like,
I think you feel
it's been
safe.
so long since I've had to worry. Since I've had to.
Well, I mean, listen, Joe Mixon's gonna have a much harder time running through Roquan Smith than he is somebody else.
That's what I'm saying. It was like, look what he did to Alvin Kamara. It's like, and I'll be honest.
Kamara's a more athletic back.
Exactly. He's elusive. He fucking moves. He makes people miss. Like
that's why the dude can play wide receiver if he wants to.
I love Joe Mixon. I really do. When people were knocking, like, dude, after this last game where we lost against the Browns, Bengals fans loved it. Like, the newer Bengals fans, I will say.
Like you.
Well, agreed like me, but I feel like I'm not gonna say I feel like an old fan.
You earned your stripes.
I did earn my stripes, by the way. No, what I'm saying is, like, this is a team that the roller coaster is gonna happen. Mm-hmm. And if you are joining because you saw them go and you're like, fuck yes, I'm in, and you expected it to all be I was like, you missed the landing of last season where we went boom, and it's like, and if you aren't ready for that as a Bengals fan, you're not gonna be a Bengals fan.
You wanna know what also doesn't help when you're watching the Browns beat you and you're like thinking about Joe Mixon? Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt are both really fucking good. So it's just like you're also looking at 2 backs on the other side that are just like crazy hard to tackle and anything.
Nick Chubb does what Joe Mixon does better.
Yeah, Nick Chubb I think is the second best running back in the NFL, and on some days he's the best.
Joe Mixon, and again, I wasn't one of the people who was like, we need him to trade Joe Mixon. When I saw some rumors that was like, oh, and if these were fake rumors, I knew him from a mile away. Mm-hmm. They were like, oh, the Bengals are in talk for trading Joe Mixon for Cam Akers. I was like, what the fuck? No, genuinely.
Honestly, I'd welcome it. We'd staunch him too, Rams fans.
Is what it is. I'm glad we kept Joe. Genuinely, I'm still on board with Joe, but the thing is, he's a great power back, but we're relying strictly on this guy. Mm-hmm. We have Chris Evans back there, who is making incredible athletic catches. Captain fucking America is back there, and genuinely, he makes one amazing catch that extends the drive against the Browns. All right, Chris, great job. Go hit the showers.
That's right.
It's like, dude, we are Samaje Perine.
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 Even better. That sounds like a kid's character.
Yeah, exactly. I'm fine with him being on our roster and being somebody we turn to be kind of a replacement power back if Joe needs a little bit of a breather.
Yeah.
The issue is we have a receiving back. So we can make Joe Mixon's life a lot easier by having some mixed up fucking, thunder and lightning plays. We refuse to do it. And Zach Taylor,
he's great.
Dude. There are so many moments where I'm like, Zach Taylor, you are calling a great game right now. Fantastic work. Do it again.
Was that against the Falcons and
The
Panthers?
Falcons and the Panthers. I'm like, there he goes again. He has a great game where you're literally like,
Mama, there goes that man. Here he goes.
Yeah, where you're literally like, he can adjust, he can learn, and then you go and then you see the Browns game, and you're like, what the fuck are you smoking? It's genuinely like, bro, seriously, dude. Like, there are just so many.
Let me ask you this also, though, because I think that this has been long talked about, the Bengals and all that type of stuff.
Yeah, I went hard.
No, I'm going to stay with them, but this because I think that they are probably the most interesting team right now in the AFC, because I think the rest of them have sort of really defined what they are. Like, a lot of the teams that we thought were going to be good have sort of said, yeah, we are. And it's basically just the Bengals that are this weird,
are we good or
they're good, and then all of a sudden
back, or do we play a shit team?
Yeah, exactly. But the thing that's really concerning me about you guys, every single time you play a team with a good rush, that line still does not hold up. Myles Garrett by himself fucked your night up.
Here's what I'm going to say on this one. The interior of the line is fixed.
Okay.
Alex Kappa, Ted Karras, and our 4th round guy, who we just took a flyer on, who ended up beating out Jackson Carman to be our left guard.
Okay.
All been great. High in the PFF ratings, have been really good at preventing.
Oh, so those matter when it's good for your team, but not when it's good for other teams.
No, when three of your
every
guys,
time I mention that, you're like, ugh.
No, when 3 of your guys in the center are doing well, you're at 60%.
Yeah, I got you.
60% of your O line is blocking. Fantastic. What's the biggest issue in the NFL that you need to defend? Edge rushers. And I'll be honest, Jonah Williams has got to go. And unless he turns it around this season and fucking wakes the fuck up, which
dude,
I don't see it
even if he does, he's not that high level.
No, I would genuinely say, if we have a 24th overall pick or something like that, take a fucking tackle.
Fuck it.
Take a left tackle. Take a blindside guy. Let's keep going with the O-line. I don't know who's going to be available in free agency, but I'd bring in somebody.
But I wanted to ask you this, though, because if you play some of these other teams, like, for example, Buffalo's got 2 really good edge rushers with Russo and Von Miller. Kansas City, Chris Jones is mostly an interior guy, but he's, right behind Aaron.
He's a gamer.
Yeah, so he might be a problem because even though those guys on the inside are grading well for you, he is apt to still fuck it up, and every once in a while they hop him out to the edge, and it's uh-oh. And then Baltimore, they just go deep with rushers like the Bills, and then you add in the linebackers. Titans, Simmons, same deal. Dolphins just bring in Chubb. Chargers got Mack and Bosa, so it's sort of that still could be the damn thing.
and again, that's completely valid. I would say, especially with seeing whenever we get to one of those points, here's the thing that I am going in on Jonah Williams, but I do need to come up with La'el Collins has not been as advertised.
I think last I checked, he was the lowest graded tackle in the league.
He's not doing well at all. And there's a couple of times where he has a great game, and we're finally all right, he's back. So there's part of me has a reason of, okay, all of a sudden Cowboys obviously knew something, and
yes, they did.
There was something in the back of my head that was they let that guy go for fucking nothing, and nobody tried to trade for him.
No, that's
question mark.
Yeah, what was it? Do we actually know what was wrong with them? Because wasn't it an injury or something?
Their injury was part of it. I think it's a laziness issue.
Could be.
I think that's and granted, that's not a knock on La'el Collins.
Kind of is.
You can kick my ass, man. Go for it. You got the money. I would understand.
Doesn't mean you're not lazy.
Time off. Yeah, I'd understand you taking some time off because you made your money. The issue is you came in here. You said you're not getting hit anymore. The bodyguard's here. You've been fucking terrible. So there's parts of me that is genuinely if that 4 right side goes well, Joe Burrow just moves out to the right a little bit more. When he gets the ball, he runs out to the right a little bit more. There have been too many moments where Joe Burrow is literally having zero. And I will actually give Joe Burrow credit. Big shocker here. I have not seen as many. I've been watching every single Bengals game. I own Red Zone, and
really.
I know. Shocker,
you
shocker. I usually turn on Red Zone and I kind of do my thing from there, especially on Sunday mornings when I'm just making coffee, hanging out a little bit, getting caught up on work. I like to have everything available, especially if the Bengals are on an afternoon game.
Yeah.
Perfect, red zone. But when the Bengals are one of the 11 a.m. games for us in Colorado, I'm glued to the screen. I'm not doing anything else. And genuinely, I have had multiple moments where I have not seen Joe Burrow hold the ball for too long. Encouraging to see.
That was his thing.
The fact that he continuously ends up getting better when he's already as good as he is, I love this guy, obviously, big shocker. But that's the big thing is that straight up, you invest so much in this O-line, 4 new pieces. Granted, 3 of them have worked out. I'm really excited about the fact that our interior line is good. We don't have to replace 5 people. We have to replace 2 people. That's much better.
Maybe the 2 toughest.
The problem is that it's 2 of the biggest positions in football, especially when one of the easiest ways to win football games right now is having 2 good pass rushers.
Well, here's what also shocks me about you guys. Generally, if the interior line is good, you'd think a power back would thrive, but they're not. There's something about the Bengals that is not right, and
I'm glad the bye week is coming in because this is a great time for us to be like, all right, we're 5-4, just like last year.
Time to get in the lab.
Exactly. Let's figure out. Let's make this work. This is where Zach Taylor turned it around last year. And I'm not going to sit here and say I'm fully confident in Zach Taylor's ability to do the same thing this year. Far from it. I expect I expect Joe Burrow to be fucking Joe Burrow again this next couple of weeks.
We'll see.
The issue is Joe Burrow can't be Joe Burrow when he's Joe Burrow on his back.
Well, it's basically been his career.
Well, yes, but I'm saying is that especially when the money's going to this O-line now, and I think big time the reason we're having issues running is not from a lack of from skill in it. It's from lack of fucking running it. Straight up. I mean, there have been too many moments where it's we do get into a pass-heavy mode. And granted, I don't blame us for getting into that mode. When you've got Tyler Boyd, T. Higgins, and Jamar Chase before injury.
I was about to say, I blame you when Jamar Chase isn't out there because...
That's what I'm saying.
Because T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd, they both play well. T. Higgins does not play like a big receiver, though.
It is interesting. He plays a route runner guy.
Yeah, if you think
he plays like a CeeDee Lamb.
Who are the people that played like a big receiver? Megatron played up above his head. Randy Moss played up above his head.
And he has those moments.
He does. Yeah, okay, moments, but moments are not how you play.
No, and that's what I'm saying is you have those moments. You should be confident that you're that guy.
Yeah.
He does not play like that.
He does the thing that Jerry Jeudy does sometimes, which is he likes to just catch it like this. He doesn't like to go out and use he doesn't like to use those paws to just snatch it.
He likes the catch he likes the yards after the catch.
Yeah, but I mean, it's the same thing where it's if you're that big, one of your best attributes is if it's up high, you can just jump up and get it before the other guy. But he doesn't like to do it usually. He does it once every 5 games where it's what a catch.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's okay. But with Jamar Chase not out there, it's boys, I think that now we need to set up a little more play action passing. Be a little tougher, make ourselves a little less one-dimensional. I don't know, man. But here's the thing. You got to turn it around because I think it's pretty safe to etch 2 more losses on you with the Bills and Chiefs. There's really possible that Ravens hand you 3rd. You might split with them, but it's equally possible that they just do it again.
It's 50-50. I'll give you 50-50.
I'll give you Steelers, Browns. You win the rematches. You should have won the first ones too, unfortunately. The Bengals feel this is why I'm saying the Jets could play spoiler, because the Bengals feel like the team that when they lose, they're dropping the ball against the teams that are going to impact them the most.
Yeah.
And the wins are against the teams that are over at the bottom of the NFC rather than in their division or competing for those wild card spots. You got the Bengals or you got the Dolphins when they were hurt, but now they've already passed you in record. So it's okay, well, now you're already chasing them again.
So, yeah, we would have been absolutely fine had we not dropped the ball. You know what? I'll take the Steelers game. I'll say opening season, too much hype.
You can live with that.
Sure, I can live with that. You know what? That's one of those games where, again, I'm very big on the division rivalries. You don't take those for granted, even if the team's bad. That's been my golden rule.
Even in week 1, dude, you can't drop it.
Exactly. So the fact that we went in assuming we'd beat the Browns pissed me off because I knew it was going to happen. So I will absolutely take that one and say, Steelers caught us. There was a lot of hype. We went in thinking we were just going to crush them. Steelers play nasty football. And if you don't take that seriously, you're gonna get caught up in it. And again, missed PAT, missed blocked field goal.
McPherson's missed a few this year.
He was 11 of 14 last year. He's 11 of 15 this year. I'm not worried. It's has it been in moments where it's been like
noticeable?
Yeah, when it's been noticeable, absolutely. And I will say that. But I'm not like I literally put out a tweet literally fucking halfway through the Panthers game when he missed that like halftime one, and I said, "Do not hit me with this McPherson's falling off shit." I was like, dude, come on. Like, he hasn't had to hit... Like, there have been 3 games where we haven't asked him to kick a field goal. And then you ask him to kick a 50-yarder, and he's cold. Like, it happens. It's a pitcher.
Here's my biggest issue with you guys right now. Like I said, you're dropping the games on the teams you really shouldn't. And if things... Hopefully for you. But, like, operating under like, the assumption of, like, they're going to continue to be a roller coaster... It's still really possible that there are 3 more losses against 3 AFC playoff teams waiting there, and that alone could end it. Like, and here's the thing about Baltimore, because I think Baltimore's gotten progressively better. Most of their sputtering was early. Now they've like won a couple straight, and they seem to be finding their way, and then they got better at the trade deadline. But they're also in a position now where their defense has improved. Your offense has a tendency to shoot itself in the foot by being one-dimensional, and even if you're trying to run it, it's going to be harder on them. And then Lamar and Joe Burrow are graded literally 6 and 7, and they just flip a whole lot, so they're basically playing the same. And Baltimore's just more consistent. I like Harbaugh more than Zach Taylor. And so it's just like...
Fuck Zach.
So it's just I don't know, man. I just keep having this hard time with the Bengals of I think that they, in terms of talent... They are in the AFC playoff picture. But they're the damn team where I'm just like, dude, they just dropped the worst games, and the Jets aren't. So if that happens, it's going to be because again, listen, Josh Allen might have a bad game or something like that. But
not every week.
No, it's not. But the Jets did now get a win over that. And if the Bengals don't, then that's another just feather in the Jets' cap. Because I think that's the team you're really fighting with for the last spot.
I agree. They're feisty right now.
They seem to be getting the timely wins when you get timely losses.
And totally respectable. Obviously can't deny. But yeah, genuinely, this is a make or break season for the Bengals. Last year, 5-4 headed into the bye. Went to the Super Bowl.
Is this last year? Does it feel the same?
First of all, relax. That's not where I'm going with this. But I'm saying, here's your opportunity. You were in the same spot you were last year. I'm not calling for a Super Bowl run.
No, you've already said that.
I'm not calling for a Super Bowl run. What I'm saying here is right now is this is where the Bengals are at a crossroads. They either go down the Andy Dalton, Marvin Lewis era, where it is lots of hype, looking exciting, fall off completely, or it is a new age Bengals where Joe Burrow puts the team on his back. Jamar Chase comes back. I don't know when that's going to be. Joe Burrow said something along the lines of he could be back after the bye. I think that's more propaganda.
Do not do it. If he comes back early and gets hurt, your season's over.
Yes, I'm very much of the case of, you know what? If we start playing to our strengths, Joe Mixon's running the ball well. You got T. Higgins being able to be T. Higgins. Tyler Boyd over there. Trent Taylor's not looking bad as a wide receiver 4. So genuinely, if we're able to adapt and adjust the way that I'm expecting us to do like we did after the last bye, again, I'm not calling for a Super Bowl run or anything crazy like that. I'm asking for a
playoff spot. Yeah.
I'm asking for a playoff berth. You can do that. You can, yes, it is a tough schedule. There's 3 big games still lined up. I would also say there's a 4th one with the Deshaun Watson coming back and the Browns.
There's a wild card
There's a wild card game. Absolutely. It could be a situation where Deshaun looks fucking terrible because it's been God knows how long since he's
2 years.
Double football. But there's also a position where we're pissed. We come back and we sling it to prove you know what? Last time was a fluke. You're the little brother. And Joe Burrow gets his first win against the fucking Browns. We'll see.
He hasn't beat the Browns?
Not once.
I would have thought he would have got one off of them.
No, that is my least favorite stat because every time everybody beats the Browns, everyone's like, this is the game that he does it. And I'm like, stop saying that, please.
Sounds like Rams fans.
It's rough. But genuinely, this is a crossroads of we're either falling off and we're a one-hit wonder last year and we don't make the playoffs. And granted, it'll feel better that the Rams aren't going to do it either.
That one feels extra good for me.
I bet. However, I do think this is a team that I think, yeah, you probably lose to Buffalo. I think we continue the streak against Kansas City, pull up Chiefs, kind of pop them in the mouth.
You're going to have to peak on that roller coaster.
I think we beat the Ravens. Like I said, I think we split. And I think you beat the Browns. And I think if you can lose 2 more games max, find a way to win the rest, you're golden. And
6-2 down the stretch, huh?
I think it's possible.
Let's see here.
Okay, this has become Bengals power.
Well, again, like I said, it has because I think the Bengals are the team that's like the biggest. Just like what the hell.
And you know what? Fair enough. Like there have been moments where, see, what I was saying earlier was I can take the Steelers game, I cannot take the Cowboys game.
All right, let's see here. Oh, never mind. You got 5 big games. So Steelers this week. Then you got Titans.
Next week. I think we could beat the Titans.
I think so too, but it also listen, you're gonna drop one of these because they are not nearly consistent enough to go on a run of
8-0.
Steelers. I think you get Steelers, Titans, Chiefs. You will either go 1-1 or 0-2.
Give me a record.
I think I'll say you beat Tennessee, lose KC.
Okay.
Or you like I said 1-1 through 2. I think KC's better. Browns, wild card, but I'll give it to you. Tampa, you'll win that. I think Pats stun you. And then I think Bills beat you, and I think Ravens beat you.
So you think we go 4-4?
That's sort of what you've done all year. I think they're gonna go 4-4.
I think 9.
Like,
I think 9. I would trust the Bengals 9-8 making it into the playoffs more than I trust the Jets. That's
maybe
my one thing.
No, I agree with you. I think, like I said, this is why I think you're battling for the last one because you don't have an easy stretch down here,
No.
and the Bengals are likely to drop one they should win and steal one that maybe they shouldn't. But I don't know which of these. Like,
it's a weird life being a Bengals fan. I'm for it.
Here's what you need to do. That Titans Chiefs split needs to be at least 1-1. You cannot drop both. If you drop both, they'll miss because the Bills aren't going to give you one. Yeah. If it's coming down to the end between you and Baltimore for like, say Baltimore isn't like secure in where they are, that's going to be a real problem.
Yeah.
Especially if you're coming off the back of Buffalo having something to prove.
Yeah.
So it's like that Titans Bills, like Steelers is a must. Like there's only a couple games in there. Like if I think that you like theoretically you should win handily Steelers, Bucks, Pats. But I think they drop Pats because the Pats are just stunning people.
They're very much like the Bengals themselves of stunner, lose the Bears. Stunner, like so and it is what it is. But yeah, I think it's this is to steal Joe Burrow's quote, the rest of this stretch is going to show how the season goes. No shit, that's how football works. But genuinely, there's going to be some real big prove-it games that we can win and potentially be done dead in the water by the time the season comes around.
I mean, it's possible that if you drop some of these, your season's over by the Bills game. But
likely.
I don't know. I'm going to go ahead and say that you make it in over the Jets because I do think Joe Burrow is better than Zach Wilson. But, yeah.
The Jets.
It's not as tough as yours.
I know it's not. No, I don't think there's another team in the league that has a fucking tough.
No, which is why, by the way, this is why every once in a while you need to just start because that's when you guys should have been with the Giants. So like you should have given yourself enough cushion to lose.
Realistically, I'll say we should be 6-2 right now.
Yeah, probably.
It's pretty rough.
So the Jets,
or whatever it is,
they got the Pats this week. No fucking idea. I think these are like two teams that are really weird. I'm gonna say the Jets get them
because the Jets lost to the Pats already.
Yeah,
season, right?
I'm gonna say the Jets get them this time.
Okay.
Then they have the Bears. I say they get the Bears. Vikings will beat them. Bills win the rematch. They beat the Lions. They beat the Jags. Seahawks.
I say they lose.
I'm gonna say.
I say they lose.
You can say that. I'm gonna hope they win it because fuck the Seahawks.
Well, of course.
I can give them that, and then I think that depending on the last game's Miami, it just depends on where Miami. I'm gonna say if Miami sits people because they've like locked in their spot already, I think it's possible that the Bills and Dolphins are and the Dolphins might know they're a wild card. If they know that and they sit, Jets win. If they play, Jets lose.
Here's the thing. Realistically, I went realistically of Dolphins are playing for their spot still, because maybe Chargers.
Okay, so I'll say Jets. If they play for their spot, I say Jets lose that game.
That's 4-4.
Yep.
What's the record right now? Remind me. What is it?
6-3.
6-3.
So they go 10 and that'd be 10 and 7.
They go 10-7. If we go 4-4,
9-8.
9-8, and we're out.
Yeah.
So
that you guys starting slow and dropping some of these little like cupcake games like the Steelers and the Browns without Deshaun Watson, that shit might bite you in the ass, because we said that you guys will split with some of these good teams. It's equally possible you don't. And
potentially, but that's what the bye week's for. We're gonna get this.
There you go,
and we're gonna be good to go.
Yep. All right. So I think we're gonna wrap it up there. It turned into Bengals talk, but like I said, I think the playoff picture is actually sort of kind of set going down like into the final stretch of the season. It's more just the question of what order are they in.
Sure.
Because after like these teams, the next closest team is 3 and 5. So it's sort of like it's out after that.
It's honestly crazy how both the NFC and the AFC have just been kind of, we're going to separate ourselves with a select group.
The top half of the conferences essentially have done it.
I think there's like no in between. There's no. Like 500 team here.
There's one. It's the 49ers.
Classic.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, no, we're the only 500 team right now. But I feel it doesn't feel like a bad 4-4.
Sure.
It feels like a 4-4 that was beat to hell for 3 of the losses, and then has sort of just ramped up, and then as they got healthy, got the bye week, and it feels good going forward. But that's the only team that's at 500 right now. Other than that, you're either like 2 games below 500 or 2 or 3 above.
Regardless of how it shakes out, what a wild season it's been so far.
Yes, it has.
It's been unpredictable to say the least. As a betting man, I have lost so much money.
I will never financially recover from this.
I will never.
To quote pull up the Tiger King.
The Tiger King.
I will never. Exactly.
I will never
financially recover from this. Exactly. We're gonna cut it off there though, with our final thoughts on it being that I think we're gonna go for the playoffs. Bills, Chiefs. You say Titans, Ravens. I say Ravens, Titans. Dolphins, Chargers. You know what? I'm going to say Jets. You're going to say Bengals. I'm going to say it just to be different, just so we have some parity.
I literally let you have San Fran win the division.
Just to have some parity here. We can't agree on everything. And we just did the math here. I think the Jets have an easier stretch. The Bengals might have fucked themselves early in the year.
This guy. You knew that.
You're going to say it's not possible?
You knew this was coming. No, I'm not going to say that.
Okay, then.
Because
so there we go.
You start putting expectations down on the Bengals, that's when they fucking let you down. But genuinely, we all saw that one coming. He loves just fucking pissing me off. And I went out of my way. I was like, you know what? Yeah, I do think San Fran wins the fucking division. You know what? I'll give it to you.
Try to butter me up all you want, but I just take so much pride.
That was not the case.
You want to know why?
I missed you
want to know why? It's fair. But you want to know why this has to happen is because I took such a strong stance on the Bengals and the Rams that they were both very lucky to have ever gotten to the Super Bowl. That this season has really sort of been like so validating so far. I would love to see this go. It's true. Are you trying to tell me that before the year I was not like the Bengals and the Rams?
No, exactly. No, you were. I'm just saying that this is like, bro, I think the fucking Bengals go on a 6-2 run.
I hope for your sake they do.
Easy fucking peasy.
If they go,
we'll lose to the Bills.
If they go 2-6, I'm gonna laugh my fucking ass off.
We'll lose to the Chiefs.
Really?
I'll say we lose Bills and Chiefs game.
Okay, way to be safe. Because the other 6 feel more realistic.
Oh, duh.
Duh. I think best case 5-3.
I'll take 5-3 if Jets go 4-4. We win the tiebreaker.
Okay, fair enough. But I want it noted that third loss is Week 18 of the Ravens. So
bullshit.
So there you go.
Bullshit. I don't believe it.
So yeah, I'm gonna do that for the AFC, NFC. Going Eagles, Vikings, Niners. I'm gonna go Bucks, but and then we're gonna go Cowboys.
I go Seattle.
Seahawks.
Seattle's winning the division.
Go for it. Yeah, be salty.
Drew Lock comes in, throws for 40 touchdowns.
You think that's happening?
3 weeks.
In 3 weeks. If Drew Lock throws for 40 touchdowns in 3 weeks, I will do whatever you want.
Kinky.
It doesn't have to be. I was going to say something like I'll buy like a custom Seahawks jersey or something.
That actually sounds awesome. I was going to.
You know what? Okay.
I was gonna make you do
Bengals missed the playoffs. You buy a custom Ravens jersey.
Absolutely not. That's different.
No, it's not.
The Seahawks, dude, Drew Lock's not throwing 40 touchdowns in 3 weeks. That's physically impossible.
Fine, you make the condition for me to like. See,
all right.
Seahawks win the West.
Seahawks win the West.
I'll buy a custom Seahawks jersey.
And if Bengals miss playoffs, I will buy a custom Ravens jersey.
There we go.
Deal? That's a fair bet.
Okay.
A gentleman's agreement.
I so hope that this does not go badly for me.
I really hope this goes badly for you. This would be a.
And it has to become like a profile picture for like a week.
Oof, even worse.
That's how it's got to be. It has to be put out there if it's done. Or we wear them. We has to be a profile picture, and we have to wear them for an episode.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
All right.
Yeah. All right.
There we go.
That's fair. That's fair. All right. What happens if both happens? Do we both?
We both have to do it.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, we both have to do it.
That would be the best ending of the season ever.
You and I sitting here and like
both of us miserable, just like,
like really upset.
What number would you go with? I gotta ask. Cause you.
Something shitty.
See,
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't want to put my favorite number down.
No, I gotta do something. I gotta do something.
If I'm gonna get a custom jersey, I'm gonna at least make it funny.
I want to get like 0.
I'll get 0 and say Lamar's ring says the fucking.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know. I have no idea. That'd be so shitty.
That'd be the worst day of my life.
Yeah. All right. If you got, God, I almost feel like you have a better shot at this than I do in terms of like avoiding it. Seattle's got a chance to win the division. You got I mean, we'll see.
I think it's about even.
Yeah.
I think it's.
Or do you want to do it so if we both lose our divisions, we both have to do it?
No, I like that. If we both lose our divisions, bro, Bengals aren't winning the division.
Okay, good. I just want to hear him say it. No, fine.
Like,
I'll take the risk.
The fucking.
No,
and granted, I hope I'm wrong.
No, I'll give you this. It's fair. We'll leave it as it is. If you miss the playoffs and we lose our division, we gotta do this.
We will both sit here miserably.
Wait, what if all of a sudden the Rams come on and just do that?
Fuck the Rams. Like.
Okay, cool. I'm not wasting money on a Rams jersey.
We'll leave that alone. Like if all of a sudden if the Bengals win the division.
These are conditional just on if he misses the playoffs. It doesn't matter who the fuck won their division. It's gonna be the Ravens either way. If it's not them.
I saw their remaining schedule. Like.
Yeah.
As much as I'd love to like have hope and faith, I'm like, you know what? Just get a playoff spot.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, that puts some damn stakes for the rest of the season. We're gonna have to invest money.
I love football.
In our least favorite teams.
The best validation I could possibly get is all this shit talking.
I
was right. Both the Rams and the Bengals got lucky. Blah blah blah. They would be
right.
validating to sit here and be like, and watch you and it's got to be the lime green.
Ew!
Yeah.
Hell, okay.
It's gotta be something to be caught.
No.
Yeah,
there has to be some limit to this. I'm not wearing that highlighter fucking.
Lime green.
Fuck you.
Because
I'm
the
not
purple
doing
and
that.
black looks fucking terrible. I hate the purple and black.
That's a way better look than the neon green.
That's the point. You have
so
to.
I have to suffer more?
Yes.
Why?
Because it's less likely that the fucking Seattle Seahawks win the division with
No, it's
Geno
not.
Smith, bro.
It's not less likely than you missing the entire playoffs.
Bro, we just did the math. The Jets have a better track record.
It's pretty funny.
Right, so genuinely, yeah. No, wearing a Ravens jersey would be fucking awful for me.
Yeah,
the purple and black's terrible, and you got that dumbass fucking Maryland patch flag. Ugh. Like, we get it.
I can see now the Wallerstein name on the back of a Ravens.
No.
Yeah, that's what it's got to be. It's a custom.
It's got to be the name.
Yeah, it's got to have our name on it.
Oh, I was gonna put Lamar's rings into 0.
No, it's got to have our names on it.
That would be so funny.
No, that. See, because that turns into a good troll thing. No, it's got to be our names on it.
I'd rather kill myself.
I think if I have to.
Gentleman's agreement.
I think if I have to, I think that if I want it to be awful, I have to get a 12 jersey with my name on it to make myself seem like one of the 12th man.
Oh, that would be fun.
To like fit into Seahawks. I think if I do this, I have to get a number 12 Seahawks jersey with my name on it.
I don't know what I'd have to get for the Ravens number.
8.
Yeah, I'd hate to have somebody walk up and be like, because from the front, that's Lamar.
Exactly.
So people would be like, oh yeah, go Ravens.
That's why I'm sort of thinking about it. 8 would be nice. 52.
Oh God, that made me vomit. Open my mouth.
Or you just need number 1, dude. Number 1 fan. Something like that.
So many bad choices.
Yeah. I think for me it's pretty clear. If I lose, it's 12.
See, yours is, you have to
yeah, because they got like a strong association with fans.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah.
We'll figure it out with you.
There's so many bad ones. Genuinely, before we end this, I gotta say quickly, the one person I want to punch in the league the most right now, take a guess. If I met him in a bar, no questions asked, on site, I'm getting arrested.
Zach Taylor.
No, I would have a stern. I'd be like Zach.
Hold on, wait, give me a hint.
I'll buy you.
There's too many people in the league you don't like. Was it like Patrick Mahomes or something?
Not a quarterback.
Who fucking did something to a Bengals player? I don't know. Who has wronged the Bengals? I have no idea.
Justin Tucker. I'd punch the shit out of that guy.
Why?
He's so annoying.
You just wish he was your kicker.
No, genuinely.
Let's be honest here. We all wish he was our kicker.
He's a great kicker. I'm not going to take that away from him.
What did he do to you?
I just think he's a fucking cocky son of a bitch. And I'm like, you know what? He never got punched in his life.
Really?
He needs to be punched, and I will take the fall.
Okay,
like, I will get the $1 million lawyer suing my ass.
That's I never in a
account.
million years would have guessed Justin Tucker.
That's why I had to say it. Yeah, Justin Tucker. Heads up if you're watching this for some random reason. I'd love to meet you in a bar and just no questions, no words, just sock you in the face.
All right, well, I think that feels like a good place to end it. High stakes. We'll figure out what number you have to get if it happens. But for me, if the Seahawks win the division, I have to get a 12th man, a number 12 Seahawks jersey with my name on it. Yeah, we'll figure you out.
Oof.
I don't want to get a lime green one.
You gotta get the lime green. It's gotta be terrible.
Why?
It's gotta be something you wouldn't even wear as a joke. And I know, and I know that's what the lime green would be for you.
Dude, that was so gross.
Here's the thing.
There's not a Ravens jersey that looks that bad.
I disagree. I hate all of them. The purple and black does not do it for me.
I think their jerseys are actually pretty good, especially when they go with mostly the black look.
The fucking numbers don't do it for me either. The way the fucking numbers are written.
I don't know. I guess for some reason the Ravens jerseys never bothered me. But all right, well we'll figure it out though.
When they were beating in the Super Bowl?
Dude, you want to know what it is? Oh, that's what. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna go find like one of those old like Color Rush Gold jerseys of theirs.
Oh,
with the purple numbers,
brown.
yeah.
Oh.
I think we're gonna have to arrange that for you. Something really nice.
I'll just wear that to Mardi Gras.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'll get it trashed, and then at the end of the night, I'm going to jersey
hurtful.
swap with someone.
You're such with your name on the jersey?
Oh, shit.
Shit.
Can I not do my
No,
last name?
you have to.
I won't do a joke jersey.
No, it has to be
It's got to
your
be custom, and it can be something like...
No, it's got to be your
Ravens
name.
Fan,
No, your name.
Or like whatever the...
No, you got to put your name on it.
Oh, that's so bad.
Yeah.
That's so bad.
It's brutal.
Yeah, I really hope you get a neon green 12 fan.
All right. Well, honestly, I think that'll be pretty fun. And I think there's a chance that one of us does it. If neither of us do it, I'm going to be a little disappointed.
If you win the division and I make playoffs, we're going to be sitting here just like, man, wouldn't that have been funny?
I know. Wouldn't that have been funny? Yeah, we'll see.
Blew it, yeah.
Well, we'll see. All right. Well, thanks for tuning in, you guys. Have a good week. Peace.